What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. I gotta say, being in Houston, Texas last week for Texas 2K was awesome. Definitely super motivating. I loved it, it was great. Really kind of regretted not having my car there, honestly, and yeah, so we're gonna kind of double down on our efforts today. If you're looking at my wrist, yes, I am still wearing my Texas 2K VIP band, like a bracelet. Don't judge me, I don't care. Today we're gonna be going through and installing the Sleeper Designs RMR style intake manifold. So we gotta go through and get that built up, but I think I actually have a little bit of a roadblock already. Now, full disclosure, when I say I'm running into a slight technical problem, it's not anything at all to do with the Sleeper Designs Intake Manifold. It is 100% everything to do with the factory setup. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So this right here is the new manifold, and these are the old runners, which are about the same size-wise. I got one of the nitrous nozzles right here, and if I were to go and tap it right here in the factory runner, hopefully you guys can see this, there's not any room for the lines or anything like that to go around because we have this oil filter right here. Now if you look right here, this thing actually goes and attaches all the way to the block back here and then juts out and comes within probably, I'd say 3 inches of the frame rail right here. So I'm not entirely sure what to do to go about fixing that. I mean, one option is to go and do a kind of a DIY filter relocation and cooler. So that's gonna run me probably about $700-800, kind of depending, probably about 800-ish, maybe 850 with the lines and everything. That's option one. Option two is to go and buy the powerhouse kit, which is already pre-assembled. All the lines are already done. It'll be a lot faster, but that's going to be about $1,400 or $1,500. And yeah, so option three, of course, would be to just not run the nitrous at all. You know, just kind of put that on the back burner, save it for later. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what to do on that. More to come. If any of you guys have an idea or a suggestion or anything like that on how I can overcome my oil filter relocation / oil cooler problem, please leave me a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear. I'd really appreciate the input. Let me just give you guys a close-up of this intake manifold really quick. This thing is absolutely sick. So coming over here to the fuel side, obviously we got our 12 injector ports right here. We got our 8 AN feeds on both sides, over here and over here. We got our 6 AN return. We got these awesome, look at this, dude. This is honestly one of my favorite features. You have this sick O-ring setup right here, so you don't actually need to go and run an intake manifold gasket at all. So you don't need to go and run any kind of gasket between the runners and the cylinder head, just because you have these O-rings right here, ready to go. 2JZ. Coming over here, you have this awesome Ross Machine Racing 90mm throttle body. This thing is just downright nasty. And so I just flipped the camera to night vision mode, just so you guys can kind of see down in here. Look at that, look at how clean that is, dude. That is awesome. So, and this thing, by the way, in comparison to the stock one, look at that size difference. It's just crazy. Like just the difference in plenum size and everything, like nuts. Coming over here to the underside of this, we have all of our ports for the nitrous plumbed on the underside. We got our idle air control valve port right here. Got all of our vacuum ports ready to go in, and we have our handy dandy burst plate just in case. And then of course down here, I'm sure you probably noticed right over here, we got double ports. This is gonna be a 12 injector setup. We're gonna be running Injector Dynamics IDX 1050s right here for the primaries. And then we got some IDX 1700s for the secondaries.
Not a bad way to spend $10,000.
So needless to say, we're definitely gonna have plenty of fuel. I think I'll probably want to max out the turbo before I go and max out anything else, especially the injectors. So this thing does come with an adapter for the TPMS. We got some nice little, I don't know what you call these, bungs, something, so we can go through and run vacuum lines and stuff. And then Seth over at Sleeper Designs, check this out, he hooked us up. We got an awesome Sleeper Designs Supra bottle opener. This thing is sick, dude, thank you so much. It also comes with a new throttle cable too. I have not actually gone through and installed this on the backside. I just kind of mocked it up and snugged up the bolts and stuff down there. Only because I think I'm probably gonna have to go and trim a little bit, not on this end, because if you look right here, you got this thing swedged on there. So we might have to go and trim a little bit on the pedal side. So now what we're gonna do is go and pull off our map, and then we're gonna pull off our idle air controller and then install those guys. Idle air controller is gonna go here, and then obviously the map is gonna go on one of those ports there. Then I'm gonna go and pull off throttle body just so it'll give us a little bit better access to this fuel rail here. Then we're gonna go and remove the fuel rail so that we can go through and install all of these gorgeous things. Let's get rolling. All right, guys, so now we're gonna go through and install the throttle position sensor on the throttle body. I went ahead and pulled this thing off the intake manifold just since that's actually a little bit easier to see so I can show you guys. The part that we're gonna be installing goes right here. So it's gonna be opposite of the pulley side, okay? Just right there. And this right here is gonna be our factory Toyota 2JZ GTE throttle position sensor that we're gonna be using. And the Sleeper Designs kit comes with this piece right here, which we're actually gonna go and mount to the throttle body first. And then this bit right here, which I hope you guys can see this. I don't know if you can. It's got this little hex bit right here. That's actually gonna go and attach to the throttle blade, or the other side of the throttle blade rather. And it also comes with 4 very teeny tiny little screws that we're gonna go and use to attach all that stuff. All right, so this right here is gonna be the first step. Got that little adapter plate on there right like that. Goes like this. Also, don't torque these things down super hard. I just kind of did them out of German spec, if you will, just guten tight, right? Because this is aluminum and you don't want to go stripping anything because that'd be bad. All right, so now we got this thing sitting in here. It is gonna take a little bit of guesswork, specifically because whenever you put this thing on here, you are gonna want to feel a little bit of tension because like I said, the actual throttle position sensor itself is spring loaded. So just make sure that you have it oriented in such a way that you are gonna be able to go and get a little bit of tension on the sensor before you go and torque it down. And voila, throttle position sensor installed. All right guys, so the next thing we're gonna be doing is going through and installing the injectors. Whenever you do this, there's gonna be 2 O-rings on them. There's gonna be one for the runner side and then one for the fuel rail side. Make sure that you go and use a lubricant of some kind on here, just because it's really easy to go and tear those O-rings. And the last thing you want to do is take your $1,000 worth of injectors or however much you went and spent on the things, and then have to go out and spend another 15, 20, 30 bucks on a new set of O-rings because you ripped one when you were going installing them. So pro tip there.
One eternity later.
All right guys, so after the better part of way too much effort, we finally got all these injectors in place. And I gotta say, trying to install 12 things in 24 different holes with only 3 points of leverage is a colossal pain in the butt. So couple of pro tip for you guys. These injector hole thingamabobs, whatever they're called, are super duper close together. And with these little lock collars on them that come on the back of the IDs, it's very, very hard to get them all in here at the same time. So what I wound up doing, you can see they're staggered. So you got the secondaries here that are higher up, and the primaries are just a little bit lower down, all the way down. And if you do that, and you rotate the connector parts outward, then it makes it a lot easier. You can actually go and get these installed. So if you're having any kind of difficulty with that, that's what I did. It worked well. The only other thing I could think to do is actually go through and pull off one of the lock collars on each of these. And I was just a little bit afraid that if I did that, then it'd fall off, fly off. I don't know, something bad would happen. But anyway, this is what we got. It works. On to the next thing. And just like that, we got our idle air control valve installed. Got a couple of vacuum lines here, one for the fuel pressure regulator and the other one going to be for the blow-off valves. Don't need to worry about anything with a brake booster or anything like that, just because obviously we got the manual cylinder from the chase base. So and then we got our map. I do need to go and get a couple of plugs for these 2 ports, and then I kind of want to get some nicer bolts for the idle air controller right here, so that's not actually tightened down. So now that we got this thing in here, I am noticing a couple different things. Number one, I'm definitely gonna have to go and trim this. This is actually being smooshed down by the back of the intake manifold over there, but this is definitely gonna need to be a little bit shorter. And I'm also gonna need to go and pull this thing back off and get it resituated to where it pokes probably up, or, yeah, you really can't do back at all. But yeah, probably more up, like this kind of direction. Because otherwise, this is gonna be right down here in our serpentine belt, and that's not gonna work out like at all. So yeah. So another thing I noticed, there's like no room at all. I don't know how well you guys can see this in here, but this is one of the power steering hoses. There's like no room hardly at all between that and the throttle pulley. So Yeah, and then this one down here, the lower one, it's like super duper close too. So I'll probably be moving those too. So we got to move those, got to cut this back a little bit, got to fix that. I think that's about it. All right, guys, so that is pretty much going to conclude today's video. I hope you guys learned something, a couple of tips and tricks and things like that. I don't know, whatever else. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And I got some more work to do, mostly just buttoning up small stuff, which, to be fair, and kind of go on a little bit of a tangent here, it's really the small stuff that kind of goes and hinders a lot of builds. So it's not necessarily like getting the finished product or anything like that. It's just like silly little things that don't quite work out exactly how you want them to. So there's that. There is, I actually want to make in this little plate here because on the Sleeper Designs bracket, there's not actually anything to go and protect, anything to protect the wire loom from going and hitting the cam gear pulley. So I went through and made that. I didn't bother making a video out of it, but I figured I'd at least show you guys that. Down here, I'm gonna need to go and shim this fan in a little bit because otherwise the intercooler pipe goes and hits this and the AC compressor. Doesn't really fit that well. So I'm gonna go and shim it in a little bit so that way it'll go and pull it tighter up to the radiator core. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's really just like little stuff that kind of like gets in the way and builds up, you know? I mean, it's like you think something's gonna go and take just an hour, 2 hours or whatever else. It's like you get all this other little stuff along the way. So like pulling out the fan shroud and shimming it, that's gonna take a little bit. Building that little block off plate, I mean, that only took probably like half hour, 45 minutes, but I mean, it's still like a half hour, 45 minutes that I wasn't doing anything else. So not sure I'm gonna make any videos on that kind of stuff. I mean, if you guys wanna see it, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I'd be happy to go and show it to you. It's just like small little stuff that I think is pretty straightforward that I don't necessarily video, that I get, yeah, that I just go through and do. So, but anyway, like I said, yeah, I mean, if you guys do want to see it, definitely leave me a comment in the section below, let me know, and I'll start filming some of that stuff. Videos to come. Next one we're going to be doing is going to be fuel line fabrication. We're going to be making the fuel lines from the tank all the way up to the front of the car. We're also going to be doing a little bit of hanger fab. So I know Powerhouse has a mechanical fuel pump pickup thingamabob's like $1,100 for that little pump bracket. Yeah, we're not doing that, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make your own. So definitely stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit that little notification bell too, just so that you can go and keep on top of this stuff. You are liking this build series. So yeah, that's gonna do it, man. Hope you guys liked the video. I'll see y'all very soon in the next one. Catch you next time.